Hey, here we are on Boles.tv. It's BOLES.television. I'm David Boles. Doing this. Focus. Camera focus. I guess it's focused. Hey, I think we're live. Let me do this with my thing to check my sound. Hey, here we are. Uh-oh. Is it scratchy?
BOLES.television. I'm David Boles.
A little scratchy. So why am I doing this? Well, last time we were together, I didn't have my microphone on for the first half of the show. I've done it before. And the only thing I can think of is if I had my headphones on, maybe I would hear, but usually that doesn't make a difference because of the way that the audio is routed or whatever. But because my microphone is right here, you can see the very tippy top of it right here. I can't see my in my OBS streaming software. I have to go over and look. Oh, I can see my microphone is on and it's working. But when I relax and lose my posture, I can't see if it's registering or not. So I just have to be more aware, more awake, pay attention, do the right thing, and stop misbehaving. So golly, a lot of things going on in the news lately. And the news is usually just terrible. And people watch the news because it is terrible. Which says a lot about people who watch the news, right? People don't want to hear about good things. They don't want lovey-dovey stuff. They want blood and guts. And boy, since Saturday, we've had a lot of blood. And we've had a lot of disgusting guts on our television screens because of this terrible assault against Israel by Hamas. And what is there to discuss, really, except that Israel has to go in there and wipe them out? What is the option? You cannot have these terrorists coming in and killing your people on a regular basis with intention. So that's all I have to say about it is, right now the border is secure. And Israel is now, I guess, going to go in on foot and take control of the Gaza Strip. That seems really impossible. With 2 million people, going to police 2 million people. They must have a different plan that's not going to go house by house, room by room. That's just going to be insane, and a lot of people will die. More people will die. It's very dry air in here now. The weather changed last week, where we were getting 70, 80 degrees, and now, all of a sudden, long sleeve shirt on, right? 30, 40, 25 degrees. You have the windows open, though. You don't need the heat yet. But it's, a little cool at night, trying to sleep. And that means if you have the windows open and it's cold outside, you're going to have probably dry air inside. And let me tell you, we do. And it's not a great thing. Dry air is terrible for your computers, because it creates static electricity. And when you touch something metal and you are walking around your apartment and you get shocked, bad thing for you and really bad thing for your computer. Also, the number one cause of the common cold is dry air. Absolutely true. Drink a lot of water, use your neti pots. And when you're doing a live show and the air is very dry and you're doing a lot of talking, sometimes it makes you cough. So then you have your green tea right here and you go, hey. And you got to learn to keep it closer to you, so there's no problems going forward. So that's kind of the news that's going on. It's all very depressing, very sad. People are missing, kidnapped. I'm sure you've seen the awful videos of the women who have been captured by Hamas and just put on display and treated horribly and terribly. It's more than dismaying. It's disgusting, and Israel's going to wipe them out. Speaking of being wiped out in a much different way, hey, here's an update on a story we talked about last time we were together. It seems there is a public radio station in North Carolina. Now, North Carolina is supposed to be sort of bluish. Kentucky, sort of bluish. Those two states in the South, sort of maybe not deep, dark red. But then North Carolina does weird things and restricts things and punishes people, and people don't want to go there and make movies anymore. Well, we had this moral indignity of this general manager of this local station in North Carolina saying, hey, you know, those operas that the Met broadcasts, we're not going to carry those broadcasts on our radio station, live streaming, because they're written by blacks and Mexicans. And that woman got a lot of blowback from a lot of different people in the arts and just in the humanitarian, human scheme of life. Meaning, do you know anything about opera? Have you ever studied opera? Because she was saying all these topics by these, people who are not white are just awful, and we don't want to promote that because at the end of the day, we, especially me, the woman said, have to meet Jesus Christ and explain myself to him. And so people said, well, how are you going to explain to Jesus Christ that you're censoring artwork while you're still allowing the broadcasts of other historic dramas written by old white men where women are murdered, kids are killed, blood is on the stage? All that's okay. But if it comes from a person of color, then we're not going to have anything to do with it. Well, there was blowback. And now it looks like there's been a recantation. North Carolina radio station won't ban Met Opera broadcasts after all. The station, which had called the Met's newer operas unsuitable because of their difficult music and adult themes and harsh language. Yeah, that's not what she said last week. Here we go. The music director of a non-profit North Carolina classical radio station said on Thursday that the station would indeed, right after our show, would indeed reverse course and air several contemporary operas being performed by the Metropolitan Opera this season that the station had originally said were unsuitable for broadcast, citing their adult themes and harsh language. And this is the woman who now will live in infamy forever. It was a very hard decision. Emily Moss, the music director of WCPE, a nonprofit station based in Wake Forest, said in an interview, "It's been a hard day and a hard week." Ah, poor baby. You took the hatred of the world and brought it right on yourself. Good job. The reversal came after the station faced widespread criticism. The Met, the nation's leading opera company, has been staging more contemporary work in recent seasons, which is good because it includes people of color, different cultures, instead of just having all of these old operas from boring white men. Let's mix it up a little bit. The opera should be living and should reflect the times in which it is found. The article continues, as part of a push to attract new and more diverse audiences, the company's found these newer works draw more first-time ticket buyers than the classics do. Now, everyone wants a good La Traviata. Everyone wants a good Carmen. But then, after you make the top 5 operas that are popular, then people don't really want to see these operas that maybe are not great. So why not offer something new and interesting, something fun that people can come and enjoy, and maybe that is sung in their own language instead of being in German or Italian or French? But Deborah S. Proctor, the general manager of WCPE, took issue with the new works planned for the current season in a survey she sent to listeners on August 31st. This season, the Metropolitan Opera has chosen several operas which are written in a non-classical musical style, have adult themes and language, and are in English, she wrote. I feel they aren't suitable for broadcast on our station. And then she goes on to say, the violence in Dead Man Walking, the death row opera that opened the season, she cited the non-biblical sources of the libretto of John Adams' El Nino and the suicidal themes of the hours based on the Michael Cunningham novel. She wrote that Florencia in Alamazona by the Mexican composer Danny Yucatan was simply outside the bounds of our musical format guidelines. And she said that both X, The Life and Times of Malcolm X, and Fire Shut Up in My Bones contain offensive language, plainly audible to everyone. That was the argument for censoring these new works. The Met broadcasts are the only way many people get to hear the productions, which are situated in New York and priced way out of many people's budgets. And that's true. It's hard to get a ticket. I mean, the Met Opera seats 4,000 people at a whack, right, for a performance. But the tickets are not cheap. And if you want to kind of sit close so you can, see what's going on and not sit all the way in the back, standing room only, you're going to pay a lot of money. Radio is supposed to be egalitarian and an equalizer, not used as a weapon, as North Carolina was doing. The station reversed course after receiving feedback from the public and holding internal conversations. We really value being safe for a general audience, especially children. I tell you right now, children are not listening to NPR radio. Not happening. But one of our core values is that we are a refuge from the political and troubles of the world, and we are returning to that value. So the bigots got called on their behavior. They were, I guess, embarrassed by it. And so they decided to finally do the right thing and to air the Met Radio broadcasts, as they should have. And it's interesting that the reasons they did this was to protect children, right, always, and because of Jesus Christ, that Jesus Christ does not and would not approve of these operas by people of color. Jesus Christ, according to North Carolina, does not want blacks or Mexicans on the radio. Disgusting. But they said it out loud. They said the truthful part out loud, which is why they got in trouble. They could have said, "Oh, they're a little too long," or the broadcast signal from New York breaks up, and we can't air it. They could have been very convenient about it, but instead they were blisteringly, grotesquely honest, and they paid for it. I'm sure they've learned their lesson. Now, speaking of things that get ruined, have you heard about the right-wing support and takeover of some of your favorite fast food restaurants? Yeah, they're all right-wing. The parent company of Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken pivots back to funding right-wing causes. Now that was news to me. I find the whole thing bizarrely weird. The parent company of Taco Bell and KFC pivots to funding right-wing causes. The fast food giant Yum Brands has reversed its 2012 decision to stop funding the American Legislative Exchange Council. I believe it's pronounced ALEC. And started paying annual dues to an association of right-wing attorneys general, according to its most recent voluntary financial disclosure. Now, this is a big what? Yum, the parent company of popular fast food brands like Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut, I believe Long John Silver as well, disclosed 20 and 22 contributions of $12,000 to ALEC and $15,000 to the Republican Attorneys General Association, RAGA, both for putative advocacy work. The Center for Media and Democracy first reported the Yum funding of RAGA in September 2022, a whole year ago. ALEC is a pay-to-play group that brings together corporate lobbyists and state lawmakers to vote as equals on model policies that advance corporate interests at the state level. ALEC's model bills stymie unions, artificially distort markets to favor the fossil fuel and tobacco industries, and exacerbate the climate crisis and prevent access to abortion, among other things. Although Yum has previously disclosed contributions to the Republican Governors Association and the Republican Legislative Campaign Committee, 20 and 22 is the first year that it disclosed donations to RAGA, according to filings from 2023 reviewed by CMD. So this is very interesting because people think fast food, free, easy, fun. Oh, maybe they're right-wing. Maybe they're left-wing. Maybe they're political. Maybe they're not political. Do you want a non-abortion flyer with your soft-shell taco? Well, I guess that's what you're getting when these companies start funding political businesses. Although Yum has previously disclosed contributions to the Republican Governors Association and the Republican Legislative Campaign Committee, 20 and 22 is the first year that it disclosed donations to RAGA, according to filings from 2014 to 2023, reviewed by CMD. RAGA's most recent IRS filings also reveal that it received $15,400 from Yum. According to the company's political contributions policy, when it comes to advocacy groups, Yum does not always agree with every position adopted by these groups and reviews its involvement with trade associations and other organizations on an ongoing basis. Well, there you have it. Your fast food company may not be the delightful, fun, silly friend you thought them to be. They just may be a right-wing monster in disguise. Perhaps even waiting to censor your food because it's not good for you, in the same way that the Metropolitan Opera was censored by North Carolina and its public radio station. Now we're going to take a very brief break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about censorship and creating images on the internet. Oh, it's a big mess, but it's a fun investigation. Returning in a moment. And hey, we're back from break. Now, I just need to figure out something here for our next conversation. So give me just a minute so I can make sure everything's working for this next little get-together of mind and spirit. I should have done this a little sooner, but I wasn't thinking clearly. I'm thinking more clearly now because the clock is running against me, if you know what I mean. And by the clock running against me, I mean I want to get this in because it's good stuff. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, meow. Gotta fix that. Talking to myself. I'll show you in a minute what's going on. What are we doing? Who are these people? Who are all these people? Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, so continuing our conversation from the last time we were together, we like to talk about AI art, AI bots, AI text, AI voice replacements. Very interesting stuff. It's all here. It's all still coming at you. And it's going to continue that way for the rest of your life. So you can't run away from AI. You can't dismiss it by saying, "Oh, it's all fake. It steals." I think it was on a Saturday. I did a Cat Her Day celebration on my Mastodon account. And it's, AI created cats. And it was a fun one. And some terrible person replied to me and said, "Oh, you're celebrating Cat Her Day with stolen images from AI, and they're not even real cats. Cat Her Day's for real things, not fake things like you do." Those kind of comments tend to ruin your day, but, you get enough of them, and you begin to realize that these are people who don't know anything. These are people who are very unhappy. These are people who are troll-like in their behavior. So I was responding to this person, and I was, type my response. No cursing, nothing like that. Just explaining that they don't understand what AI is. It's not stealing anything. And when I clicked send, I got a message back from Mastodon saying, "That message no longer exists." So I guess the person, for a minute or two, because luckily I saw that terrible message right away. Sometimes I'm gone. I don't see things like for an hour or more. So she deleted the message, and then I blocked that person because I don't want to ever hear from that person again for the rest of my life. But this is the times in which we live, where you have some people who are invested in the future, in knowing, in doing fun things together, and they have on the other side the complain, tear down, negative, don't do that. And all of that's fine. You can be on either side. But what's the point of the mean person trying to tear down what the other person's doing? Why don't you just not comment? Leave them alone. Well, that's what the whole right wing's about. Look at what Twitter's become. They want to come after you. They have the right to tell you off. They believe they are destined by God and the world to tell you how to behave, and if you don't, then they're going to come after you, and all their friends are going to come after you. So I tend not to engage with them. I have a lot of things I like to say. I tend to either ignore them or dismiss them. But on Mastodon, they say something nasty, and it's there. Even if you block them, it's still there. So you have to say something that takes away the viciousness of what they're saying about you. So it's from you. So the people who are your friends and who are following will say something or feel they can contribute, because usually if you don't say anything and the nasty person is the first one to comment, then other people tend not to say anything. Not that they don't want to defend you or they're not on your side. It's just, I don't blame them. They say, "Why do I want to get involved with this? That's a crazy person. That's a mean person. I don't want anything to do with them." So you, as the responsible person, who's been online for 25 years, you got to go on there, say something to them, then block them so they can't reply to you. It's the only way to do it, really. I'd prefer just to delete their message, but you don't have that right on Mastodon, and you should. And then usually other people will then see, oh, you've responded, everything's fine, we're safe, he'll protect us, and I will. Then we can comment too. Then we have a conversation. But those people who are doing that don't want you to have a conversation. They want to put a chill on your conversation. They want to knock you out so you can't say anything. And I say something. I used to ignore them, but now I've realized you really can't ignore them because they want to go unchallenged, and you have to challenge them. So over the weekend, there was very interesting movement about the DALL-E 3, version 3 being released. This is the third version of the DALL-E image generation app, AI. And you can get it on ChatGPT 4 Plus if you signed up early, and I did. And you can get it for free via Bing Image Creator. Now, here's the problem. DALL-E 3 is very interesting because it can usually pretty well add text to your image. Midjourney, highly advanced, beautiful, Stable Diffusion, highly advanced, beautiful, cannot do text well, at least not yet. But DALL-E 3 can sort of reliably do text and create a logo for you or create a sign. Very interesting things. Okay. So if you're a young kid who wants to cause trouble for other people and, leave comments and spread danger and chaos, you probably don't have access to the paid version of ChatGPT, where you then have to apply within a 24-hour window at the time to get access to the DALL-E 3 beta test. So what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? You're going to go to Bing Image Creator because it's free. And at the time, Microsoft was giving everyone 100 credits a day to create these new DALL-E images, 4 at a time for 1 credit, right? So that's 400 images a day that one person can create. Well, of course, people who want free are in there creating things. I did a lot of it. I had a lot of credits I didn't know I had, probably because I have a Microsoft account with my Office subscription. So I was creating a lot of interesting things for like a day and a half. And then something happened. Microsoft kind of turned it off. And it seemed like any prompt that was submitted was marked as unsafe or not presentable. And sometimes Microsoft Bing, DALL-E 3, would just outright ban people, like for an hour, or sometimes people would get banned for a day. And the average people like me and other semi-evangelicals about new AI technology were trying to figure out what is going on where all of a sudden Microsoft is censoring images. Well, it turns out there is, I don't want to call them a gang, a group of young people. I'm not even going to say their name because then you're going to be in trouble. And these are young people who were going on to Microsoft DALL-E and I guess creating really nasty, mean images, especially over the war in Israel. And they were doing blood and guts and, Nazi stuff. And I think Microsoft over the weekend just said, look, it's a long weekend. It's Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. Let's just shut it down. So almost any sort of prompt we cannot create. I was sort of able to create things at will as I wished. It's very dry in here. So I really didn't get locked out. Now in this test we're about to do, I might get locked out, but that's okay. because now I don't care. I got everything that I needed and I understand what's going on. So this investigative team kind of figured out what was going on. And these kids were creating anti-Semitic memes using the free version of DALL-E 3 on Microsoft. So this young group frequently hosts hate speech and played home to posts by mass shooters, asked Bing image creator DALL-E 3 to create photorealistic anti-Semitic caricatures of Jews, and in recent days shared images created by the platform depicting Orthodox men preparing to eat a baby, carrying migrants across the U.S. border, but later a nod to a racist Great Replacement conspiracy theory, and committing the 9/11 attacks. Meanwhile, users on multiple forums associated with the far right are sharing strategies to avoid the tech giant Microsoft's lax content moderation to create more racist materials. One guide, uploaded multiple times this week to free file hosting services Imager and Catbox, shows several examples of good versus bad AI memes generated by Bing image creator DALL-E 3, recommending that memes be funny and provocative, have a red pilling message, and be easy to understand. One of the AI generated memes it claims is effective depicts male immigrants of color with knives chasing a white woman with a Scandinavian country's flag in the background, while another shows a crying Pepe the Frog being forced to take a vaccine at gunpoint. The guide in the image of an Orthodox man depicted carrying out the 9/11 attacks was first reported by 404 Media. So you see where this is going. A young gang of kids full of hatred and disrespect, indicating a lack of good, responsible parenting, goes online to create these horrible images on what the rest of the world is excited to try to figure out how to use and work with this new AI bot called DALL-E 3. But when you're trying to get the images created, you're behind these children who are trying to hurt other people and cause harm in the minds of others. And it just makes you think, what kind of world is this? What kind of world do we live in where people just don't want to take advantage of something free? They want to hurt other people with something free. So what did Microsoft say? Hey, we have large teams working on the development of tools, techniques, and safety systems that are aligned with our responsible AI principles. As with any new technology, some are trying to use it in ways that were not intended, which is why we are implementing a range of guardrails and filters to make Bing Image Creator DALL-E 3 a positive and helpful experience for users. So that's what happened. That's what's going on. You had these young rogues creating nasty images and posting them, and people figuring out, hey, it's coming from DALL-E 3, probably because it has text in it. And then Microsoft saying, oh my, we released this beautiful thing on the world, DALL-E 3, and it's immediately being abused by people who aren't even paying us to use our system. So what do? They turn it off for everyone. And that's pretty much what they have done. I've understand from other people this morning that I've been talking to that maybe Bing Image Creator is slowly starting to come back for people, that they're not getting blocked every time. It'll be interesting to see. And instead of getting 100 credits a day, we're now getting 25 credits a day. And if in a day like I did yesterday, you use, 5 of your credits, so you have 20 left. The next day, you don't get another 25, you get another 5. So you always have 25 credits in your account to create these DALL-E 3 images, which is fine, which is enough. You cannot buy more credits. You're just given credits, and that's it. Live with it. And it's just curious as you're sitting there trying to create funny cat memes, good images, and people are just getting banned left and right, and they can't figure out why. So it's all about moderation. I will post. Oh, you can. These are some of the images. Bing with Pooh Bear and Nazis, and so this is what people are spending their time on. I've never understood people who do this, or people who go into Chat GPT and have a text conversation trying to make it angry and argue with the bot and make me a story that can't be repeated in moral company. And sometimes the bot complies, and sometimes the bot says, I'm not doing that. But what these people are doing is they're wasting resources and time on matters that don't matter except to hurt other people. And I guess that's how they get their thrill out of it. I don't know. So I'll post this article. Pooh Bear with hostages. Eesh. I'll post this in our Discord server. Our Discord server is, I'll type it right now, Discord, DISCORD .gg/BULAS. So you can take a look at that later. So now that we know that Bing is being censored, here is my version of Bing Image Creator. You can see right here, powered by DALL-E 3, right? Okay. So this was a fun meme that I created over the weekend. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, a German expressionism movie from 1920. Terrific, about a somnambulist and a doctor who goes around murdering people. Delightful, right? And I just want to test, would it allow me to make the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari? And it with cats. And it did. And I think it's sort of funny. See, I have 25 credits. So the lesson is, use up all your credits every day, because the next day you'll get 25 more. But if I only use 2 credits today, then you're only going to get 2 credits put back on your account tomorrow. It used to build up, and you'd have like 1,000 credits, which is what I had when I first discovered this. So I'm going to write a prompt. I'm not going to try to be controversial or hurt people, but I'll try to think of something interesting. Blood, war, conflict, evil, all those things seem to be getting censored. So I don't want to try to get censored, but I do want to see if I can come up with an idea that will give me an image response that doesn't get censored. I'm not trying to get censored, but I'm trying to see where the line might be drawn today. So, let me think. A cat, we'll do cats. A cat holding an ancient sword and cutting the Gordian knot. Now, over the weekend when this was locked down, there are a couple of things that probably would not allow this to be shown. Sword, a weapon, right? Cutting, and Gordian knot. If you don't know what the Gordian knot is, we can ask ChatGPT. So I'm now going to see if this will create this. I don't know if it will. We'll see what happens. Oh, it is creating it. Oh, this is very good. Okay. It's being created. We did not get blocked. Oh, look at this. It's the cutest thing. There's a cat with the Gordian knot. Oh, that's just the cutest thing ever. I'm going to use that tomorrow. Why not? It's so stupid. Now that's a meme you can dream. Oh, that's the cutest thing ever. So I now have 24 credits. So I'm going to copy this because I'm going to go to ChatGPT and see if I can get the same sort of image. So let's go over here. ChatGPT, okay. Now this is supposed to be updated soon. It's supposed to be sometime today where you get vision, where you can upload an image and have it analyzed, and it's supposed to be able to speak to it, and it will speak back to you on your iPhone or your Android phone. But I don't have any of that yet. So let's go with the default ChatGPT. Explain in 350 characters, not words, the Gordian knot. And I'll use this tomorrow too. We'll have fun with it. Okay. And the reason it takes me so long to type is because my keyboard is over here, because it can't be here because my microphone's here. The Gordian knot is an intricate enigma originating from ancient legend, closely associated with Alexander the Great. As the story goes, this complex knot was tied by Gordius, the king of Phrygia, and situated in the city of Gordium. An oracle prophesied that whomever could unravel the knot would gain dominion over Asia. Various individuals attempted to disentangle it, but all failed until Alexander's arrival in 333 BCE. Frustrated by the impenetrable knot, Alexander resorted to an audacious solution. He unsheathed his sword and cleaved the knot in a single stroke. This decisive act has since been metaphorically employed to signify a radical solution to a convoluted problem. It embodies the Alexandrian solution, an approach to problem solving that dismisses the labyrinthine in favor of swift, incisive action. The Gordian knot has thus evolved into a symbol of intricate difficulties and unconventional resolutions. It continues to captivate the collective imagination, serving as a point of reference across disciplines, from philosophy to mathematics to conflict resolution. Now, here's the problem with that answer is, it's like 500 words. I said 350 characters because I only have 500 characters in a Mastodon post, and I want to use this tomorrow. So, Claude will give me 350 characters. Bing will give me 350 characters. ChatGPT refuses to do characters. That is more than 350 characters. And then it's going to argue with me. I apologize for the oversight. Meow, meow, meow. How many characters is that? Spaces and punctuation. Now, usually I just take it and just edit it myself, but we're demonstrating here, so I have to do it this way. 444 characters. It's a 444 characters. Yes. Redact to 350, as initially indicated. This is what I do all day, is argue with my AI bot. Oh, baby. I still think that's a lot more than 300. How many characters? Character count? $347. Okay. Now I have a new chat. And now I need to go down here, go to DALL-E 3. Yeah, I'm going to use the exact same prompt that I used on Microsoft Bing. And we're going to see if we get censored here in some way. I don't think we will, because ChatGPT's version of DALL-E 3 was a little more behaved, I think, because people have to pay for it. Right? Microsoft Bing is free, and all these freaks were on there doing these nasty memes for free. I don't blame Microsoft for turning it all off. I would turn it off too. What else can you do? You have these people who are coming in trying to hurt other people. And it's unfortunate that you kind of have to make everybody suffer because of a couple of people. But I guess that's our new world. Now, what's interesting about ChatGPT is this is my prompt. And then it rewrites that prompt into 4 different prompts and then creates the image from that. Oh, look at that. That's very cute. I'm actually liking this quite a bit. What a wonderful idea. Okay. Oh, now the cat should be cutting the Gordian knot, not Alexander the Great. That's an error. Now, see, sometimes it gets cartoony. I don't like the cartoons. Nobody asked for a cartoon. And that just doesn't make any sense, but I guess the knot has somehow broken the sword and twisted it into. Kind of weird, right? So then I think you could make it redo it, but I'm not seeing my option to make it redo it. Oh. This one I'll save. This one I don't think I like. Oh, I'll save this one too. Because sometimes they disappear. So let me see. Will it do it again? Okay, now it's making the second version. And you can do this all day. And eventually, if you do it too many times, I think somebody said they could do like 30 image creations in an hour, and then you get cut off for a little bit. But they also said that ChatGPT will tell you how long you're timed out for. Come back in 13 minutes. Come back in an hour and a half. So that's a big change. It used to be you didn't know how far you were pushing the AI bot, and now it just kind of tells you when it's had enough of you. I have not had that. I did have it one time over the weekend creating logos. It said, I can't create anything new for you right now, but in 13 minutes I will. And I came back in 14 minutes, and it did. And then I didn't push it anymore because I said, okay, got to let it cool down. A lot of people in line. Don't be piggish. Now here we go. Cartoon again. Don't like the cartoon. That's very well done. A cat twisted around. Oh, this is all going on Mastodon tomorrow, or maybe even today. Oh, that's not the cutest thing. Look at that. The cat is trying to cut the Gordian knot. Oh. And there's the cat posing with the Gordian knot, and the Gordian knot itself looks like a snake. I like that too. Boom. Regenerate. So that's our show. We talked about some really fascinating things today. We talked about censorship in North Carolina being set right by moral outrage of regular people. And they forced the change. A wonderful thing. We talked about the right-wing investment by Yum Brands, Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Doesn't really make sense. If you're going to go one way, are you going to go the opposite way? And then are you going to go in the middle somehow? Are you going to help people? Are you going to hurt people? Then we talked about hurting everyone when a group of bad actors go in there and try to take advantage of new technology and turn it around so it hurts people. It's a very sad and awful thing. But this is the world in which we live, and we all do try to make it better, try to make it more sustainable, make it a better place for everyone, even those who are out to sabotage us. I'm David Boles. Thank you very much for being here. This is Boles.tv. Hey, it's Boles.television. I'll see you again next time. Take care and be well.